I was 14, living in a quiet suburb on the edge of a small city. My family had this old Victorian house, full of creaky floors and high ceilings that seemed to swallow sounds. My parents worked late shifts at the hospital, so I'd often be alone after school. One autumn evening, they had to attend a conference out of town, leaving me with the run of the place. It was exciting at first: snacks, streaming shows, no bedtime rules. I settled into the living room with a bowl of popcorn, binge watching a sci-fi series on the big screen. Around 9 p.m., the wind picked up outside, rattling the branches against the windows. I paused the show to grab a drink from the kitchen. That's when I heard a faint echo, like someone whispering in the hallway upstairs. I froze, telling myself it was just the house settling. Old places do that, right? I shook it off and went back to my spot. But then, the whispers came again, clearer this time. It sounded like a low murmur, almost like words I couldn't quite make out. My heart started racing. I muted the TV and listened. Nothing. I laughed it off as my imagination, probably from watching too many alien invasion plots. I hit play and tried to focus. By 10:30, the power flickered once, twice, then steadied. Outside, the street lights cast long shadows through the curtains. I decided to head upstairs to my room, flipping on every light along the way. As I reached the top of the stairs, the whispering returned, but now it was behind me, coming from the bottom. I spun around, peering down into the dim hall. Empty. Just the front door, locked tight. I barricaded myself in my room, phone in hand, texting a friend about how creepy the house felt tonight. She joked back, saying I should check for ghosts. Not helpful. I put on headphones and blasted music to drown out any more noises. Midnight rolled around, and I was starting to doze off when my phone buzzed a motion alert from our front porch camera app. We had one of those cheap setups my dad installed last year. I opened it, expecting a raccoon or the wind. But there, in grainy black and white, was a figure standing at the edge of the porch. Tall, hooded, face obscured. They weren't moving, just staring at the door. My blood went cold. I watched as they stepped closer, hand reaching out to test the knob gently, like they didn't want to alarm anyone inside. I dialed my parents, whispering frantically about the stranger. Mom sounded half asleep at first, then panicked. "Stay in your room, lock the door. We're calling the neighbors." While I waited, the figure on the camera lingered, then vanished into the shadows. But minutes later, I heard scratching at my window like nails dragging across glass. My room was on the second floor. How I hid in the closet, clutching a baseball bat from under my bed. The scratching stopped, replaced by footsteps pacing the hallway outside my door. Slow, deliberate. The knob rattled once. I held my breath. Sirens wailed in the distance finally. The footsteps retreated, fading down the stairs. When the police arrived, they found the back window jimmied open, footprints in the mud leading from the alley. No one was caught, but they said it looked like a scout for burglaries. My parents cut their trip short, and we installed better security. But to this day, on quiet nights, I swear I hear that echo in the hall, reminding me how thin the line is between safe and alone. Growing up in a rural mountain town, I spent my teens exploring the endless trails behind our cabin. It was just me, my aunt, and uncle after my folks passed. The place was cozy: log walls, a stone fireplace, views of pine trees stretching forever. One winter weekend, my guardians headed to the city for supplies, leaving me to watch the property. I was 16, old enough to handle it, or so they thought. Snow blanketed everything, turning the world silent and white. I spent the day chopping wood, then hunkered down with hot cocoa and a book by the fire. As dusk fell, the temperature dropped, and I drew the curtains against the growing dark. Around 8 p.m., my dog, a loyal shepherd mix, started whining at the back door. I let him out, figuring he needed a quick run. He bolted into the trees, barking wildly. Minutes later, he returned, tail tucked, fur raised. Odd, but I brushed it off. We settled in the den, me scrolling on my tablet. Then, from the woods, came a whistle, sharp, human-like, mimicking a bird call but off-key. It repeated, closer each time. I peered out the window, nothing but snow and shadows. Uneasy, I locked all doors and turned up the radio for company. The whistling stopped, but now there were crunches in the snow, footsteps circling the cabin. My dog growled, staring at the walls like he could see through them. I grabbed a flashlight and shone it outside. Caught in the beam, a silhouette, ragged coat, standing motionless among the trees. Eyes reflecting light, unblinking. I yelled, "Who's there? This is private land." No response. The figure stepped forward, then vanished behind a trunk. Panic set in. I called my uncle Spotty Signal, but he picked up. "Someone's out here," I whispered. He told me to arm myself with the hunting rifle from the closet and wait for help. Neighbors were miles away, but he'd alert the sheriff. The footsteps grew bolder, scraping against the porch. A shadow passed the window, breath fogging the glass from outside. I aimed the rifle at the door, finger trembling. Knocking started soft at first, then insistent. "Help," a voice rasped. "Cold out here." I didn't answer. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, truck lights pierced the night. My uncle, back early with a friend. They searched the perimeter, boot prints everywhere, leading into the deep woods. No one found. Locals later whispered about drifters in the hills, surviving off the land, preying on isolated homes. After that, we got trail cams and floodlights. But those whispers, they echo in my dreams, calling from the trees. In my early 20s, I rented a beachside bungalow during a gap year. It was off-season, waves crashing nearby, but the town emptied out, leaving me in peaceful solitude. Friends visited occasionally, but mostly it was just me, writing and surfing. One stormy night in late fall, thunder rolled in, rain lashing the roof. Power outages were common, so I lit candles and curled up with a novel. Around midnight, the storm peaked, winds howling, branches snapping. A bang at the door made me jump. Through the peephole, a drenched woman, mid-30s, clutching a coat. "Please," she shouted over the gale. "My car broke down. Can I use your phone?" Hesitant, but she looked harmless, sodden hair, pleading eyes. I cracked the door on the chain. "Signal's out here too," I said. "Wait, I'll grab my charger." As I turned, she pushed slightly, eyes darting inside. Something felt wrong. Her story shifted to needing shelter till morning. I declined politely, offering to call roadside help from my landline. But as I stepped back, she whispered, "You shouldn't be alone tonight." Chills ran down my spine. I slammed the door, bolted it. She didn't leave. Pacing the porch, knocking intermittently. I hid in the bedroom, phone ready for emergency. Lightning flashed, illuminating her shadow through the blinds, watching, waiting. Hours passed, the storm eased, but her presence lingered. Dawn broke, and she was gone. But outside, muddy handprints on the windows, like she'd tested every entry. Police said it matched reports of a scam artist targeting coastal rentals, luring people into opening up for accomplices. I moved shortly after. Now, in storms, I hear that knock, wondering what might have happened if I'd let her in.